Hello, thanks for joining me for this week's Restorative Yin class. Today you're going to need a bolster or a pillow, a couple of blocks, and maybe a blanket or a couple of cushions from your sofa. Let's get going. We're going to come straight onto our hands and knees, bringing the knees slightly wider than the hips and pushing yourself back into a simple child's pose. Remembering that this is a Restorative Yin class, so if you need to use props, a blanket or a bolster underneath your hips between your heels and your glutes, that's absolutely fine, or you can always use a pillow to rest your head on. Bring your arms to either side of your legs, so your shoulders are rounding forward, forehead resting on the floor if possible, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the shoulders, and starting to incorporate deep breath. And slowly push yourself back up onto your hands and knees. You're going to need your cushions here, or a couple of rolled up blankets if you don't have them. Bringing one about in line with your shoulder blade, and the other one just underneath your calf muscles. Once you've got your pillows lined up, start to slowly lie back, draping your upper body over the pillow. The tops of your shoulders and the back of your head should rest comfortably on the floor, and you can bring your arms out to either side, goalposting the arms, either keeping the legs bent with the feet on the floor, or straightening the legs out and resting your calves on the pillow. So this is a gentle chest opening, starting to get some capacity into the lungs, breathing in and out through the nose, and slightly lifting the chin, opening the airways. Start to think about deepening the breath even further, elongating the length of the inhale, maybe holding the breath for a couple of beats at the top before exhaling all the way out. Start to wake yourself up a bit, bend your knees, roll over to one side or the other to get out of this position, and start to gently push yourself back up to a seated position, moving your cushions or pillows off to the side. We're going to come onto our hands and knees now, hands underneath the shoulders, and very slowly lower your whole body down to the floor, bringing one hand and then the other above your head, fingertips pressing into the floor, lifting your forehead and nose away from the ground, knees together, toes tucked. And what I want you to be working on here is gently moving your hands away from your body. So you're completely stretching through the back body, keeping your head gently lifted away from the floor. So this is a very active pose for a yin or restorative class, but it's also really great for grounding and getting any tension out of the lower body, out of the back body, and out of the neck. On every inhale, maybe just experiment with walking your fingertips slightly further forward, knees pressing in together, hips tilted slightly towards the floor, pushing the pelvis down, concentrating on that deep breath. And untuck the toes, let go of the stretch with the arms, bring the hands to either side of the chest, and push yourself back up onto your hands and knees and through to a sitting position. We're going to need a cushion again, So you can use 1 or 2 depending on your preference. I'm going to bring it to the top of the mat and just come and lay down on your side, resting your head on that pillow, keeping the rest of your body in a straight line. I'm going to come into a gentle twist here. Start to lift your top leg up towards your body, knee bent. You want your knee to be slightly higher than your hips and let your top shoulder roll backwards, opening the chest. You can stay here, or if you want to go further with this stretch, you can bend your bottom leg, reach back with your top arm and try to clasp hold of the foot or ankle, bringing your bottom hand to your top knee. So now you're in a kind of figure 8 position, and you can start to use your arms to open your chest even further, encouraging the top shoulder down towards the floor. Making sure your face is nice and soft, you're not holding any tension in your jaw. Really beautiful opening through the hips and through the chest. And start to release that deep twist. Coming back up to a seated position, we're just going to swap to the opposite side. Lining yourself up, bringing the pillow over your head and neck, and straightening out through the lower body. And remember, we're going to start with that top leg, pulling it up towards your chest, knee bent, slightly higher than the hips, starting to open up that top shoulder. And staying here, or starting to bend the bottom leg, clasping the foot with the top hand and resting the bottom hand on the top knee, coming into that knotted pretzel position, using the hands and the legs to pull your chest open. And start to release. Gently coming back up to seated, placing your cushion or blanket off to the side. I'm going to grab hold of a couple of blocks now. So we're going to come into our standard chest opener here. So you want one block lengthways at the top of the mat, and the second block mid-height in line with your spine, resting just below your shoulder blades. So this may take you a couple of tries to get it in the right position. It should feel quite comfortable to be able to drape backwards. If not, just keep playing with the position until it feels good for you. Release your hands out to the side, let your legs go long. Just feeling how much chest opening we've already done here. You should feel like you're able to take a very deep breath, really filling up your lungs, expanding through the chest. Start to bend one leg in and then the other, and gently roll from one side or the other to get out of this position and come up to seated. Move your blocks away. So now bend your legs, put your feet on the floor, hands resting behind you, and let your knees fall over to the right hand side. Then from here, just move about until your knees are in a nice 90-degree position on both sides. You want 2 right angles with your knees. Sometimes we like to call this 90-90 position. And we're going to start to rotate over that front thigh. Bring your right hand to the floor, left hand resting on the bottom leg. And just starting to twist around, you should feel that all through your hips, the hip flexors. When you're ready, take your left hand and grab hold of your right elbow. This just helps you get a little bit more of a twist. And gently come back to center. We're going to repeat that on the other side, so you can just windshield wiper your legs across, making sure you've got that nice 90-90 position again. And starting to twist towards the top leg. Left hand on the floor, right hand on the knee. Preparing yourself, opening yourself up. And then when you're ready, take your right hand and grab hold of your left elbow. Gently using it as a lever to pull yourself into a deeper twist. Looking down towards the floor at all times, you don't want any strain through your neck. And on your next exhale, release and come back to center. And grab your bolster or pillow, whatever you have to hand. We're going to come into a bit of a supported forward fold here. Bringing the bolster between the legs and then bringing one foot and then the other on top of the bolster. So now you're in an elevated butterfly stretch. Make sure your feet aren't in too close to your pelvis and start to walk your sits bones away from the feet. Grab any pillows or blankets that you might have to hand and just start to pile them up on top of your feet. You want a nice pile that makes it easy for you to lean forward. Bring your arms underneath the pillows and just ever so gently start to let yourself round forward, letting your head rest on one side or the other, letting gravity do most of the work here. Once again, concentrating on your breathing, elongating the inhales and elongating the exhales. If you had your head resting to one side, now would be the time to switch positions just to get some balance between the two sides and settling back into the position, concentrating on your breathing. Okay, and starting to wake yourself up, bringing yourself back up to seated, putting your props off to the side apart from your bolster, bring that behind the knees and relax back into final relaxation, Shavasana. Let your feet fall open, your hands out to the sides, keeping your eyes soft or gently closed. Feeling all of the work that we've done for our bodies today. Stay here for as long as you can. We're just coming up to the 15-minute mark. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again next week.